Aloha everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend and welcome to another episode of my Apex Arena Reviews. I was not able to play at all on Saturday but was able to get a few games in on the first bracket on Sunday. While I got schooled a few times while trying new techniques, I want to share with you 3 games that I found interesting. The only thing is that one of the games is actually not very interesting at all, but boring as hell. However, I still want to share it to highlight the different possibilities when you're facing opponents with different playstyles. The theme of today's video is teamwork. So before we begin, you probably noticed that my points did drop, and I actually dropped below 1900, and that is because I was like I was explaining earlier, I was experimenting with a different box just to see if I can be a bit more creative, and let's see how that comes up. Okay, so let's go to the first game. So the first game, we'll take a look at how you can combine a long-range attacker with ODS. So this is the one called Shelfie, because we're still trying to get Shelfinio for the win to play in the playoffs. He's made Langrisser rank, but he didn't seem to be playing on Sunday. So, dude, stop slacking. Anyways, let's take a look at this game here. So we'll start with pick ban as usual. So before we begin, if you look at my box, you're probably like, looks kind of weird because I have Landius, I have, let's see here, who do I have? I have ODS here, I have Shafanio, and I even have Listel, which you probably never seen in my box before. But anyway, like I said, I'm playing around and trying to experimenting with a few things. But looking at my opponent's box, the first thing I noticed is Illustrio on this Windy Outpost. She's super deadly. Normally I would first ban her, however I still don't want her my opponent to have Juggler, so we start with Juggler. And if he picks a tank, then I am going to ban Illustrio, and if he doesn't pick a tank and picks Illustrio first, then I'll ban his tank. So, but he did take a tank. Right away, Reen and Illustrio don't want to deal with it. And I guess I'm getting my healers banned, which is fine. Double Landius, very dangerous. I started banning his SP Elwin for the range, and I pick Shafanio, second pick. I get more healers banned, Reen, and obvious reasons. Pick Florencia. Get rid of the AoEs because now I don't have any healers. So I thought Juggler might be a pseudo healer. I didn't have much choice, and of course my last remaining healer got banned, or semi healer, and it makes sense, right, for the opponent to pick Yulia that would counter the double tank. But since they have ODS, I'll pick ODS. I forgot, actually my ODS can heal just a little bit as well. But because I picked him, I was able to be a bit more creative in the way we played this match, and you'll see in a second. So actually, if you look at the team composition on the opponent side, it's extremely dangerous for the fact that he has Gizarov to fraction buff both Yulia and for Sage of the Trees. But the weird thing is why Mask Maze, which caught me a little bit off guard. I would figure unicorns, but yeah, not too sure. So my thought process is to claim the middle. I have double tanks. I don't have much healing, but I want to just kind of stop him. I override his with mine, the Otis tiles. He inched forward, and that was his first mistake. With Luna, I'm able to absolutely just jump in with Juggler. Not to lock anything down, but to first, I wanted to damage the summon and also see what happens with Yulia. Of course, he gets Yulia back to full, which is fine. And a rush on Yulia, but here comes the fun part. So here comes Shafanio with her 3C. His 3 people kills the summon, so she gets to use it again. And the nice thing about it is, because I'm on the Odious tile, I'm able to hit and retreat, and he can't counter attack. But he's damaged, and I remove a lot of their buffs. That's it. That's fine. I'm gonna go in and 3C again. Ouch, that hurts. And remove more buffs. So look at that. Almost all their buffs are gone now, even though they had faction buff. And because she had no buff, it's gonna do no damage to Juggler. Just shrug it off. Go in and do more damage. Just put on the pressure because Florentia has already moved. Luna go in for the first life of Landius. Very easy. Oh. And a silence. And damage her a little bit more. No damage there because he lost all his buffs. And then opponent ran away. So as you can see, by utilizing a long range attacker as well as the tiles, you're able to hit and run and kind of keep the enemy at bay with a juggler or some kind of tank in the front. What will probably happen next is my Shafanio is going to go in and use another AoE and probably finish the rest of them off. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, the theme of today's videos are on teamwork, right? It's focusing on teamwork. Is not just one particular hero, but is the combination of heroes together. All right, okay, on with the second game. The second game is okay. This one is super boring. I'm telling you that right now. Please do not try this at home, and should only be done by a professional. Seriously. Not only will you bore your opponent to death, you will also be half asleep at the end of the fight as well. Okay, so this is called the bored to death, literally. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So I haven't changed the box. This is the last game I play. I played against Sabrak, and I sincerely apologize, Sabrak, if I bored you to death. But that was the only way for me to win because you did an excellent job in banning all my DPS. But okay, so we start banning my DPS right away, Ares. So I still wanted to, and then I banned Akka because Akka, if it's in their box, you have to. I went with Landius, was hoping to use Shafanio in some way or another. But nope, she got banned second, Reen's gone, and picks Rosen Seal. So when you pick Rosen Seal, I can't really go debuff route, and it's very difficult for me to single target him down. In addition, if you look at how many tanks he has SP Freya, Albedo, and also Ledin. So that's one. I can't ban 2 tanks and he'll still be able to pick a tank. So my thought theory is, my thought process is to then go ahead and start banning their DPS. And that's what I did. Start with getting rid of Odious and Reen and picking Odious. Remember, double Landius is very dangerous. Then more my DPS get banned. Pick Yulia, which makes sense because Yulia with immunity can be extremely dangerous. I did get rid of Ledin and I picked Luna because Luna counters Yulia in a certain extent. There goes my AoEs. And he picks Albedo. So with Albedo, it's very difficult for me to single target her down, especially with heals to back it up. And I've decided to pick Juggler. And I got my SPL win, because not gonna do much to Albedo anyways. All I have left is 2 healers. He picked another healer. So I banned the rest of his DPS, and instead of picking a 3rd healer, he decided to go with a 2nd tank. So if you look at our lineup, right? 2 tanks on my side, support, a healer, somewhat of a support. No real DPS on my side. On their side, 2 tanks, 2 healers, 1 very deadly DPS, and depending on how the positioning is able to lock down my tanks and probably kill everything I have. But the nice thing is I have Luna, and I figured like, well, hey, you know what? If I'm not gonna be able to kill anything, I'm gonna rush the middle. I'm already telling you my strategy. I'm gonna rush the middle, and I'm just gonna stay there and board him to death. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm probably not gonna explain much on the step by step, but I'll just let it play out so you'll see what happens. I just want to do at least enough damage for any one reason that if I get to the 12th round, I'm still gonna be ahead. But as you can see, I'm literally taking up the middle first turn, rushing to the middle. Very carefully positioning my characters so that Yulia is not able to lock down both tanks at the same time. So I'm very careful with that. Now look at those skins. I see a lot of Albedo Echo of Light skins lately. All these wells, even that Yulia that's Echo of Light, as well as the Rosenseal. And my opponent is ready to do the setup, hoping to kill something with Yulia. And let's see what happens. So I set myself up. Here comes Yulia. They didn't attack yet. I said, that's fine. You're being silly because now you're giving up literally the middle. I'm gonna take up the entire spots in the middle. Like, I'm doing damage, but as you can see, because he has Rosenseal, he's back up to full. So I already know that I'm not gonna be able to kill anything. Not with 2 healers, 2 tanks. Plus Yulia can heal, so that's it. Okay, fine. If you're gonna do Crystal Ward, I'm gonna do the same thing. Making sure, again, be very careful with the positioning. Tickles, but it's alright. This juggler. And my juggler is actually in water, so even if she dispels my water, it's fine, because she's actually literally sitting on water. So now I guess his job is to try to kill me off or kill something, and let's see how successful my opponent does that. And it's so nice with these thorn procs because it actually adds to the damage, I believe. And because Rosenseal has used her 3C and all my characters are around them, stay nice and healthy, just like what he's doing. I'm not doing anything, I'm basically ending turn. Throwing out AoE here, a little bit there, just to get some score on the board. So this is gonna go on for a couple turns, so I hope you're still with me. No one fell asleep yet. But yeah, not much is gonna happen. But I want to go all the way to the end just to show you that it is possible to win games this way. Not recommended, not recommended. But if that's what you need to do, then that's what you gotta do. And thank God for Zilong giving us the ×3 speed, right? Imagine if this was on normal speed. I'll probably have this video like running to like tomorrow or something, and no one's gonna watch my videos anymore. But here comes Yulia. Just keep on trying to punch through, but it's not gonna happen because Juggler in water with Lobster is very strong, especially if I'm full life, have Lash Rights, Reduction, Landius has the right troops, so reduce a lot of the damage. I do have Luna there, who is reducing 30% of magic damage. And then have my friend Rosenseal is basically keeping everyone healthy. They can't debuff me because of Rosenseal. So yeah, it's a boring ass game. I'm sorry for making you watch this. I think we're going like all the way to 11 or 12th round, but let's just watch it just to make sure. And if you feel like, hey, you know what, you already know what's gonna end up, you can go ahead and go into my description. I did put in the the different links to the next match, so you can go ahead and click on that and move to the next spot. But with Thorns again, I was able to kill off one of Yulia's life, which is kind of nice. Rack up more damage. I'm still ahead. He's probably struggling, thinking, is like, what am I gonna do to rack up damage? And I'm just doing what I can with little AoE that I have left. I'm not concerned at all on trying to kill him. I'm just trying to stay alive, stay healthy. I have 5 spots out of the 6 in the middle. And once the fog comes in, all of their characters are gonna die. So he's trying to shift around. But yeah, it doesn't matter. He's trying to rack up some damage with SP Freya, but since I'm not taking any action or attacking him, I don't take damage, from what I understand, even if I'm close to her. Damage is still pretty close, but right? I'm just a little bit ahead. And him dying in the fog does not add damage to me, but it does mean that he can't do anything to me if his characters are dying off. And Odious 3C, I believe, should be up right around now, so then I should be able to do some damage here as well. AoEs are always good. So I did take a little bit damage there, but with Way Whisper, I was able to rack up another 30k. So yeah, and then a clock. So that means I can do it again. So I mean, at this point, there's really nothing to do. And Thorns proc again. Sorry, I mean RNG was really on my side on that one. How many Thorns did I proc? I think this is the end. So I'm ahead about 40k. And I have another 3C coming up, and he can't do any damage to me, so I think he was gonna try one more time here because I didn't guard, but couldn't kill me. I'm still about 25,000, 26,000. And I believe my opponent gave up. If not, I would have 3C and with because I clocked with Odious, and that was it. But yes, I do apologize again for boring everyone to death, but it is a strategy in case if you want to use it to win, especially if it's a crucial match when you are trying to get to the next rank. Right? No sense to give up because of that. Just because you can't kill them, as long as you're hitting damage and you can keep them away, block off the middle, you have a very good chance of winning. Okay, I appreciate you in bearing with me through the second game. The last game is a bit more interesting. It will showcase how to work smarter and not harder, literally. First, starting with pick band, then on how to use the heroes in the correct order. And this is, I did name it pick band. So let's take a look at this. So it's still the same box that I have. Looking at my opponent's box, ban my juggler first. I did notice that again Akka is here, and then I did notice that there was a Yusuke here. Keep in mind I'm not using my Elbero, so my Landius is actually quite weak, and I am a little worried, especially now that juggler is banned. But let's see how it goes. So I banned the juggler, still hoping to use Shafenio at one point or another. So I picked Landius, got my the big threats out, and then it was a first pick Zarita. I was like, wow, that was interesting. So I went ahead and banned Akka and their tank, so they can't rush me, and I picked SP Elwyn. So SP Elwyn, as you probably, even though it's on floating courtyard, is extremely strong in a no tank position. I do have a tank, so I can protect him. Of course, my opponent got rid of my ODS and Luna, so I can't rush, and he picks ODS to kind of zone Elwyn, which is okay. I got rid of their long legs and their AoE, and I pick T Jessica. The Elwyn T Jessica combo is super deadly, super deadly. Pick Yusuke. If he can somehow kill my tank, he can clean up. I got rid of long legs and faction buffer. Pick Rosen Seal, hopefully to counter Yusuke's 3C. They got rid of more of my AoE, and I went, I believe, probably with Bozo. Did I went with Bozo? Yes, I did go with Bozo. And my opponent went with a probably healer. Yep. TRS is forcing go attack either with Zarita, Yusuke, or even Yulia. So let's take a look real quick on the team setup as well as skill selection. Quite interesting using Triants, faction buff with ODS. So that's a bad choice right there, because that means only get one way whisper with the 3C, and if he doesn't proc clock, that's GG for him, right? Kind of useless. Zarita with double attack. That's because you can have faction buff here, double attack here as well. Yep. Oh, I didn't expect this, but definitely know attack blessing was coming, and then of course Yulia. Wow, that's a very high HP Yulia there, almost 13k. Crazy. Intel is very high as well. So yeah, looks like unicorns are max. Okay, so on my side, I brought Landius, I brought SP Elwyn. Everything is pretty much the same, pretty standard. I did bring Seal and Sleep because I know my opponent does not have ability to doesn't have gospel and is very susceptible to being silenced. So and then of course Sleep as well. And then Rose and Seal, nothing special. So both sides inch forward. They get faction buff up. I just charge forward because I have the plan. Because I don't want him to have Zarita to be able to reach my characters. Move forward. And this is where their first mistake is on the positioning. So he probably didn't count the squares. Elwyn was able to move into position, and since I act first, I have the opportunity to just jump in and kill off Yusuke right away. And I understand that my Elwyn is most likely going to die, but it's a trade. I think it's a good trade. He's already faction buff, and Yusuke is always a pain. It's probably the best to kill him first, just for the fact that as I kill other people, he doesn't get all buffed up. I purposely did not guard. Okay, I purposely did not guard Elwyn, because I already know that Sage of the Tree, it can AoE and he's gonna die no matter what. Or if Zarita uses her Shadow Raid, he's gonna die. And there's another reason why I didn't. I want him to die off, right? I want Sage of the Tree to use his 3C. So he finished me off with Tiaras, which is fine. Yep, these seeds is kind of getting wasted. Doesn't do anything to me. But if you look at the positioning now, and on purpose I brought and that's a nice breeze on Bozo. So Bozo that's not gonna hurt too much, but he's been able to reach his entire team with a earthquake and seal, and most likely completely disables their team. Of course, he goes Suicide Alcazar to become immune to debuffs, but that's when, you know, T Jessica. But keep in mind, this is a 3-star T Jessica. But because he Alcazar, his soldiers is no longer there. I was able to one-shot him. So it's literally 4 against 3 now, and I have a tank. Yulia is super dangerous still, but that's why I brought the silence. And once Yulia is silenced, she's useless. Plus the blood shield, plus thorns. I mean, yeah, GG. Yeah. So as you can see, the pick started from the pick ban, but it's the combination of the teams and sort of foreseeing how, or kind of forcing the opponent to act play a specific way, that I be able to hit them with multiple combos, and by that I was able to win the match. It was pretty quick, but it was definitely an enjoyable game. I hope you like that. Please share your thoughts. Okay, so that's it today. Nice and short. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you find these helpful, and as always, I appreciate your suggestions and your thoughts. On a side note, I was thinking of sharing another account that I have, an out account, which is not built at all. But it showcases some fights in the silver rank instead of in the Langrisser rank, because the fights there are completely different. You know, if anyone is interested in seeing those, please let me know in the comments sections below. And of course, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more content. Aloha.